Maxwell asks, how is the D&D going? The D&D is going very fun. Yes, more than something. So I was part of a large group of experienced players while I was the least experienced, and now I'm part of a much smaller, more manageable group of very inexperienced players. So I'm actually, having had experience with RPGs, not necessarily D&D, but RPGs in general, I have more experience than many, and having had a couple of sessions with the main club, as it were, like I know how the system works in club, and having watched a lot of Critical Role, I know a lot of the general rules system, a lot more than some of the new people. So overall, I'm not doing too badly, and it's kind of it's nice to be in a slightly smaller group, because it means that you know, I can we're all kind of learning together rather than what it was before, which was, you know, me being the noob, and then all being much more. Alduin is real. Oh, because Alduin is real. He is an awesome dude. Yeah. And the Dungeon Master has also worked in a load of stuff to do with my character and my backstory, so that a lot of the things that I worked into my backstory are now relevant to the actual plot, because obviously before it was me jumping into a pre-existing campaign, and now it's a new campaign which I have, like my character was created before we started the actual campaign, which overall means that basically I'm just pretty badass. No, basically it means that like the story is a lot more based around our characters. There's a lot less characters, so it can be a lot more character driven rather than plot and encounter driven, which is really nice and much more what I wanted when I started playing D&D. So generally, it's been really fun. As I said, I did 2 sessions. I did one session where I just spectated once, and then 2 or 3 sessions with this other group, and now I've done 1 session with the new group. And so far it's going really, really well. Like, the Dungeon Master really has worked in a lot of stuff to do with my character backstory, which meant my character has a fear of heights due to the fact that she was thrown off a cliff. And even though that meant that she discovered her deity and she's a cleric, you know, she has a fear of heights and a fear of shapeshifters and immense empathy for anyone in danger. And the quest line is to find an elven person in danger and, you know, not die. And the quest has brought the entire party, which apparently I'm the leader of. Apparently, like, I wasn't expecting it because my character is meant to be very introverted, and she's got rather low charisma, and she's kind of she wants to stay undercover, but she also has a compulsion to help people, which is why she's chaotic neutral, because she's desperate to help people, but she's also really desperate to stay really under wraps and undercover and like hide from things, because she's scared that, you know, the people who are hunting her are going to kill her. So trying to then be the protagonist and actually be the one who's progressing the plot and being the hero in that capacity is very off-putting for me, because well, not off-putting, but it's kind of exciting and weird and challenging, because I've got to, as a new D&D player, I've got to spur along the new people, and as a character, I've got to play in character about her being very introverted and not really wanting to be seen, but also being the one who's kind of leading the group. So it's a really interesting challenge. And as I said, the campaign has so far involved my deity as a cleric is a Deep Sashales, who is an elven deity of the ocean. while the questline so far involves a girl missing while trying to um, steal from a um, a shrine to I can't remember what her name is, Umbale, who is an evil deity of the sea. So that's awkward because it's kind of like the pantheon is battling around me, which is really, really, really very cool and very interesting. And as I said, it very much speaks to the character that she's able to go on this kind of epically good quest to rescue people. And it's really very cool in that capacity, but it's definitely challenging. And so I was at this point where, being introverted and being terrified of heights, I was on top of this cliff, and it seemed like the only progression after 15 minutes of my party making some progression but not really going anywhere because I was their leader, apparently, having to, come to a decision that I was just going to jump off this cliff into the ocean because it was the only way to progress the plot in any significant way. So, yeah. And that's where we ended the game last week. So now I'm torn because I don't know, like, if I fall in and it's a negative thing because it's an area that's, obviously a shrine to Umbale, it's going to be really, really, really bad. But if, like, I hit the ocean and, like, I can somehow contact Sashaleus, then it could be really, really cool. But either way, I just jumped off I think it was, the DM said 200-foot cliff into the ocean, not knowing what's going to happen on the other side, because it was the only way to progress the plot. And yeah, I rolled a religion check before doing it, and I got a 16. So I'm really hoping that when I hit the water, it's going to be like a positive, like, reconnection with my deity. But I don't know. Oh my god, I'm such a nerd, but it's so fun. It's so fun. Ridiculously, ridiculously fun. So yeah. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week. I've got character art, which I tweeted out. And yeah, it's just, like, it's weird how much of my brain space has been taken up with what is, D&D. And I think that's the wonder of D&D is, you really do, it takes up that aspect of your brain space that you don't usually kind of use, that imagination, which is, you use a lot when you're a child, and you make things up and tell stories to yourself. But when you're an adult, you very rarely do that unless you're a writer. And so actually having the capacity to do that again, it's really refreshing and lovely, but my god, does it take up so much of my mental space. Like, I'm thinking about my character at work, I'm thinking about characters in Critical Role at work, I'm thinking about alternative characters like play if my DM TPKs us. Like, I've already got another character who, that was the week I forgot. There was one week where the DM for the other game was away. So my current DM ran a little mini game with the old group, which is a bit too complicated for anyone to make sense of, so don't worry if you didn't really understand that. But basically, that was a glitch party. Basically, oh shit, I stole that. No, well, it's not like I'm in here for good purpose. Basically, I made a quick form character who was a halfling bard, called Maylee, who was very opposite to Nayla, who is my current character, in that she is very extroverted and very, very chatty, and convinced that no matter what she is or where she is, that she can talk anyone's ear off. And there was a near TPK. I think one person died. I was unconscious at the end of that game. But there's due to be like a Halloween, like, yearly gaming event thing run by the group. So it's actually on Halloween, which amazingly is a Saturday this week, this year. And amazingly, because of shift patterns, I actually have the weekend off, which means I can go to it. So I might dig Maylee back out of the woodwork in order to take part in that little mini game. And yeah, she's a furiously like a mini Pippi Longstocking. That's probably the best way to describe Maylee. She's very peppy and chatty and musically bizarre, while Nayla, who is my current elven cleric, is very introverted and shy and dark hair and all those things. She's kind of the goth in her family. Anyway, not that interested in any of you at all. Chaotic neutral, I meant to say chaotic good. She is chaotic good. So, you know, she's very torn about the means to which she does good deeds, but in the end she wants to do good deeds. That's kind of like how I see her. She's, you know, she feels most, like, I'm talking to her like I know her. The way that I translate the character is she feels very good, like genuinely at peace with herself and calm, and like, you know, she feels like she's getting rid of some of the trauma of her past when she does good magic, like healing magic. Hence why she's a healing cleric. But she's also willing to go to the, like, the previous DM was very competitive. There was a lot of combat over interaction and exploration. So there was a lot of times where, even though she wanted to hold back and she wanted to hide, she was forced to be offensive, which is fine in its own right, but at the same time, it meant that early on in the games, before I'd really settled on her character properly, she was doing a lot of, you know, very, not dark things, dark is not the right word, but for a healing cleric who's meant to be all, you know, light and joy and all those things, she was very much more, you know, you're in front of me, I suck your soul out through your face. Which is very fun to play, but it doesn't really quite make sense for a healing cleric. So one of the things that she's determined to do good. She's determined to punish evildoers, kind of almost paladin-esque. But she feels more calm and more at ease and better in herself when she does good things, like healing people. If that makes any sense whatsoever. But she like the way that I've written the backstory, she is very much a let's eat lots of food. Her entire backstory is a whole thing about opposites. She's, you know, torn between being good and being proper and being outlandish and all these things, and she's got, like, her family history is very, she can't decide who she wants to be, whether she's one thing or the other, and because of that, she's, you know, she finds it difficult to do, oh, damn it, too much D&D talking, not enough Skyrim concentration. She finds it very hard to words and stuff and things. You might burn nobody right back with you. She wants to do good through good means, but she's very willing to attack people if that's what's required to survive. And her long-term goals are to become good enough at combat in order to face the enemies that attacked her family and killed. Or possibly she doesn't know who killed her family. She doesn't know if her family is alive or dead. So yeah, that's my character. So it's a very, it works because the way that I've written it is Sashaleus, who's the her deity, is also chaotic good, which means that it works for why he chose her, and it also means that the bond is very strong between them, which is good. And it also explains a lot of her defensive sucking your soul out. Oh, I was going to get her health potion rather than a magic potion. Time for another app. Okay, good golly, that was a lot of D&D talk.